Alright, tonight I'm going to show you how to do the first part of this assignment. First thing you have to do is read this piece by Jonathan Edwards, who was a preacher from the 1700s, 18th century in America. And he wrote many sermons, gave many sermons, one of which is called Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. So I want you to turn to page 95 in the textbook, and there I want you to look at the first paragraph, and I want you to draw attention to here, this yellow highlighted part that I've highlighted for you, to make sure that you see this. Here's where he says, this is who Jonathan Edwards was, and his sermons hinge on fire and brimstone, depictions of hell, and visions of churchgoers dangling by tenuous threads over the depths of hell. That's basically what we're going to focus on today, is how he wrote this and what you see when you read his sermon. So I'm going to switch to the next page here. And what we're going to focus on is imagery. Imagery is the mental pictures that you see in your head when you're reading something. So that's what we're going to focus on. You should click on this little animation and watch it if you're not sure what imagery is, but I'm not going to do that here. You should definitely look at the vocabulary words and write them into your journals. But let's move on to the sermon itself. Okay, so I'm not going to play it for you, but you really should listen to the guy who reads this, because he reads it really well. But I'm going to go through this bit by bit, and as I go through it, I'm going to show you what I want you to do. As you're reading, you need to make sure that you visualize what you're reading. You're going to have to create a mini comic book, in a sense, on the section that you've been assigned. I'm going to do one just for this first part. So here we go. He says, so that thus it is that natural men are held in the hand of God over the pit of hell. Immediately, what do I see in my head? I see a group of men, natural men. Well, what are natural men? And it says below, they're those who have not received God's grace. They're out of Christ. So I'm seeing men, regular ordinary men, held in a giant hand over the pit, over a pit of hell. So I'm going to draw a big hand over a pit. And then it says, they have deserved the fiery pit and are already sentenced to it. All right, I can figure that out. So there we are. It's a fiery pit. So I'm going to put fire in my pit. And what do I know about these men? They're already sentenced to it. Sentence. Sentence is like a courtroom. So they've been sentenced. They've been given a sentence of death, perhaps. God is dreadfully provoked. His anger is as great towards them as to those that are actually suffering the executions and the fierceness of his wrath in hell. Okay, so God's angry at these guys, and that anger is as great towards them as it is towards the people who are actually suffering already in hell. So these guys aren't actually in hell yet. They're held in the hand of God, but they haven't gone to hell yet. All right, what else does he say? They have done nothing in the least to appease or abate that anger. So these people haven't done anything to appease or abate the anger. And if you read the vocabulary words, you know that means to stop the anger of God. So these people are still making God angry. Next part. Neither is God in the least bound by any promise to hold them up one moment. So God isn't bound by any promise. He doesn't have made any promise to hold them up. In other words, he hasn't made any promise to keep them there. So he could drop them any minute, if he wanted to, right into the pit of hell. And would fain lay hold on them and swallow them up. Alright, so what's going to happen to them? Oh, sorry, I skipped a bit there. The devil is waiting for them, okay? Hell is gaping for them. When you gape, you open your mouth. So you can, what I'm picturing is the pit of hell is now a big mouth of the devil, and he's waiting to swallow these people who are still in the hand of God. Okay? And would fain lay hold on them and swallow them up. Okay? The flames and the flash are gonna grab these men and swallow them up. The fire pent up in their own hearts is struggling to break out. So now I'm going to picture someone with flames in their heart, and the flames are trying to break out. And they have no interest in any mediator. Mediator. Why is mediator capitalized? Well, it's capitalized because they're talking about like a God-like presence. So these people have no interest in God, basically. God being the mediator between, if you believe in God, then you're not going to go to hell. There are no means within reach that can be any security to them. So these people don't have anything to hold on to that's going to keep them safe. In short, they have no refuge, in other words, no safe place, nothing to take hold of. They don't have anything to hold on that's going to keep them safe. All that preserves them every moment is the mere arbitrary will and uncovenanted and unobliged forbearance of an incensed God. So God is pretty angry at them, and he's not about to help them. So we're going to stop there. So I have a bunch of pictures in my head now. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and then you can pick it up and see how I'm going to do that in the next.